Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Amtut plus YouTube equals salvation. I'm Chaos Wizard 98, and I will be showing you how to create your very own mod in Arcanum. Now, just to let you know, I'm not a modding expert. Like, I'm not going to be showing you how to create, Chris Bedos's Arcanum or Royo's A-Whip, but I will be taking you through the entire Amtut tutorial, right through questing, scripting, all that fun stuff, and, hopefully you learn something from it, and you get out there and start creating your own mods. If you ever need any help or anything, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message. You can also ask on the Terra Arcanum forums. They're really helpful. They helped me, create my first mod, and it's great. Great help there. And well, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is to open up World Editor. And you will arrive at this screen here. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is come up with a module name. And that's going to be the name of the mod that you run in your game. That's how everyone's going to see it. So for this tutorial, I'll be using Amtut. Now, the next decision you have to make is it going to be a single-player mod or a multiplayer mod? Single-player mods are typically longer for, the reason that you can save and load. Multiplayer, you can't do that. Another reason that this is so important is multiplayer. Everything has to be on the same map. All your dungeons, all your towns, secret rifts, or, whatever you make, it all has to be on the same map. So for this tutorial, I'll be using multiplayer just because it's easier to test. And it does not exist, so you want to create it. Now, you want to create a new map, because this map is just, it's not even in your game, actually. Alright, I like using water because you don't have all that ground clutter. And let's go ahead and turn off tile blockers so we can see something. Alright, so here's your map. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make some terrain, because you can't have a module where it's all water, I guess. So you can go ahead and select this button here, and you can select all your different terrain types. I'll be using grass. Now you can go about it. You can click and drag and just like a paintbrush, I guess, and make your terrain. Or if you go to top down and you zoom out a little bit using the minus key, you can select an entire sector, which is shown by these yellow lines, and you can select fill with tile type, and then you can select your terrain, and it automatically fills the entire square with your terrain choice. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these 4 sectors here. Alright, and then switch back down to isometric, and here you are. Now, you also notice you have this boundary here that doesn't look too good. Now if you take your paintbrush and you just brush it over there, it automatically creates a border around the whole thing, nice and smooth, nice and easy. Alright, now let's go back to the middle. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is build a house. And you can do that with the little house button up here. And you can select what type of building you want by using the next or previous arrows. And I'm going to make a small farming village, so I'm going to use number 22, the thatched roof. Now to make a building, you once again go to top-down view, and you click and drag over these red dots. And that is how big your house is going to be. A typical house, a small house is usually 3 by 3. And here's your house. So, let's put a door on it using this tool right here. And some windows using this one right here next to the F. I'll put a window there. And another thing is, if you put, two things next to each other, it'll make it bigger. And if you just click it again, it changes the art on it. You can also change the art by right-clicking and selecting variant. It should change it. I'm not sure why it's not. Well, you can change this door. And if you say, you don't want it or you want it in a different spot, you select this tool right here. And you can delete it and put it somewhere else. Alright, let's go and make that. Now, we're going to want to build on the inside of the house. So for now, you can select, view, and then you can turn off roofs and walls. Or you can just use the hotkeys, which are located next to the thing in the view menu. And it's awfully dark inside this house, so we're going to go ahead and brighten it up. Let's select a 5x5 disc and go ahead and lighten up the room a bit. And there you go. Now, we're going to go ahead and put an NPC on the inside. And we're going to make a human shopkeeper. Later on, we'll use him as a general store clerk in one of the later videos. And let's go ahead and put some armor on. So, one way you can do armor is you right-click the guy, select Edit, click this picture here, and you can change him into, whatever you want him to look like. And another way to do this is you can select armor, which is this A button right here. And we have heavy wool clothes. You go ahead and select, whatever armor you want. I'm just going to go ahead and use heavy wool clothes. And you place it on the ground. And then you click and drag it to the guy. Now he will not change in the editor. You won't be able to see what armor he's wearing. But in-game, it will automatically show you. Now, if you happen to edit and, change it this way, then he goes ahead and changes. I'm not sure why it looks weird right now. I got a new computer, so some of the settings are probably messed up. But I can assure you he will not look this messed up in-game. Let's see if moving off screen. Nah, I couldn't fix him. Well, whatever. Anyway, now the next thing you're going to want to do is to create your spawn point. Now you can go ahead and do that by, you see these coordinates right here? This is your X location, and this is your Y location. Oops. Now, alright. Darn it. It's not letting me move. Alrighty. So, as you move the mouse, you see the numbers change. And that is basically your coordinates on the map. So, we're gonna go ahead and... Why is it? Alrighty. There we go. Now I can... Now, to set a spawn point, it's fairly easy. We're gonna go ahead and set our spawn point right here. And you have to remember, you right click, and you're gonna select set as start location. Now you're gonna want to go ahead and write down these numbers right here, 2051 and 2035. So we're gonna set this as our start location. And before we do anything else, we should save the map. And you're gonna want to enter a map name. I usually type in start just because it saves me a little bit of typing later on. You can set it to whatever you want, but I will be using start, and you OK, and your map is saved. So we're gonna go ahead and minimize that. Open up my computer, and you're gonna find your module, which is by default Sierra, Arcanum, modules, and then the name of your mod, which we used Amtut. And then you're gonna want to go to rules, and then map list. Now, here's your these are your maps, your start locations, and I typed in start because it's just default right here. It's gonna say start by default. If you named your map something different, then you're gonna wanna delete start and put in, whatever else you used as your map name. And these are the coordinates right here, which we got from the start location, so we're gonna wanna type those in at 2051 and 2035. That was my start location. And you're going to go ahead and save this and close that out, and open up World Editor again, and then we already saved it, so you can go ahead and file compress, and that will go ahead and compress your module. And what that does is it goes ahead and creates a .dat file. This is your actual map right here. Anything in this folder doesn't really matter because after you compress it, because it's right in this .dat file. Arcanum pulls all its data off of this file right here. So after that, we're gonna go ahead and minimize that, and I will boot up Arcanum and see you then. Alright, we're back. This is Arcanum. Now, if you want to play your mod in single player, you hit options, and then under module, you can change to the name of your mod, and you get done playing single player. For this tutorial, I'll be using multiplayer, just because I have a level 50 guy, and it's easier. And module is alphabetically in here, so it's easier. Amtut is what we have, so we're going to start the map, and here we are in our new mod you just created. Go ahead and walk in the building. There's our NPC we put down, and yeah, I guess that's about it for episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. But, episode 1, starting a map, that's probably the easy part. Later on, we will be getting into scripting, and we'll be making this guy talk. Aside from the random floats that happen when you click on him by default. And we're going to set him up as a general store clerk, and hopefully he'll sell stuff to us. So yeah. I will see you later, I guess. Right after I kill this guy. Sorry. Yeah, well, I don't have a name for him. We'll name him later, too. So. Alrighty. That concludes this episode. And, yeah, see you in episode 2.